Okay, I'm going to show you how you can apply a cover and binding, a spine, to your chipboard book. And the type that I'm showing you is this. It has a paper spine that on top of which are two cover pieces which have been glued down. So you have your fully embellished book. All right, this is one that is not embellished yet. Putting the binding on and adding the cover pieces does not come until the end of your project. So you would want to make sure that you embellish your book, have it as deep or as many pages as you want first. This is an 8-page book, and I left it embellished in order to show you that it has a bit of spring in it because of the way that the binding strips have been applied. So a binding strip was applied, a chipboard page, a binding strip, a chipboard page, etc., until I have 8 pages. Now the last page I have a plain page that's the same of chipboard, the same size as the rest, and the same thing for the back cover base. And that's what I'm going to be applying my cover to. So let me show you a little bit about how to make a cover. And of course, this is, as I said, this comes at the end of your process. You want to embellish first. You don't want to make a cover in advance because you don't know the tone or the nature or exactly what you might want by the time you've finished embellishing your book. So this particular book is going to be a bit on the romantic side. So I've chosen some canvas material that I had that was left over from an upholster's. And for a cloth cover, you have a chipboard piece, the same size as your pages. You're going to use clear glue, and for the corners, you need to carefully cut out a square, a little bit of material, so that you're able to fold down a triangle. So fold down a triangle. I'll show you on this one. Apply glue, tack it back down, and use a clip of some sort to help it dry. So I've done that on this. And now I can use a piece of, once it's dry, I can use a piece of scrapbook paper that's cut about 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch in to cover up all of this construction. So just apply a little glue there. And for cloth, you probably want to use the clear glue. I'm going to apply that. You might want to round the corners. That would be something else that would look nice. Press that down and give it a chance to dry. For a paper cover like this, a little bit simpler, you're going to cut, and the same thing goes for your material as well. You're going to cut at least 1 inch piece larger than your cardstock, than your chipboard. And then in each corner, you're going to cut a square. So in each of these, I've cut a square out. I cut a square out here, cut a square out there. Oops, I didn't fully cut the square out here. Okay, and then we're going to glue them down, or you could use the tape runner, which might work better on paper. And you'll see that for paper it's much easier to get a neat corner. All right, and then again, cut a piece that's about 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch smaller, depending on the kind of look you want. Glue that down. The tape runner. And there we have it. So that's another kind of cover that you can make. And a paper cover, of course, is really fun because there is such a variety of scrapbook papers out there and paper. All different kinds that you could use. A marbleized paper that's glossy, or shimmery paper, or some other, depending on the tone of your book. So here's my fully embellished book. I've added various kinds of papers, ribbons, buttons, things like that. I'll show you what I've done in this book. I've used parchment paper, made pockets, used feathers, buttons, twine, string, flowers. You'll see that the pages, having been painted in advance around the edges, really help with the embellishment process. So there's a few ideas that you can try, but use your imagination and do what comes to you. Do whatever you feel like, for sure. All right, so to attach the base of my fully embellished book, this is the last step of making a chipboard book. I'm going to apply glue here. To my 2.5 inch, and before I do that, let me show you these two little holes that I've made. That you can put a string through there, and a little string that dangles. You can add charms, ribbons, all kinds of things, feathers. Makes a really pretty outside spine. I use netting and different kinds of ribbons and things that are consistent with the colors in my book. But you can do whatever you like, and that's what those two holes are for. Or you could use a D-ring or a ring you could put through there as well. So this part, you need to line it right up to the cover base, right on the fold. And same thing on the back cover. Line it up, glue it on the fold. Oops. Okay, and once those are glued, you can add your cover piece, which is going to go right on top. You're going to glue that right on top of the base. So it will look a bit like that. It's going to go like that. The same thing with the back cover. And there you have it. Have fun with it. See you next time.